Tony, go ahead.
Haskell, we've heard some good things about Teron Vincent. Can you foresee a season where he has a season like he did last year? Comes out of almost not nowhere, but just takes that big step.
Yeah, there's a lot of guys developing, and especially Teron, he's doing really well. He hasn't played ball for almost 3 years, and just like me, he came back at the same time as I did. So he's finally getting that fresh, healthy year of playing ball, and been able to really develop himself injured free. And so for the most part, I think he has a chance to have a great season this upcoming season.
Alrighty, next up, Nathan Baird, Cleveland.com. Nathan? All right, let's go a bit.
No, I'm here.
Yep, go ahead.
Sorry about that. Haskell, the past 2 years, you guys have had like some obvious veteran guys who are ready to step in at that nose tackle spot. Just from your perspective, what you've been watching in practice this spring, what have you seen from the guys who are working there, and who's impressing you?
Pretty much everybody. Everybody knows how to play both positions, 3-tech and nose guard. So, for the most part, everybody's fighting for a job, and everybody's trying to get better. But like I said, Teron's doing really well. Jerron Cage is doing really well, and so is Antoine Jackson. And you see some flashes from Ty Hamilton doing really well. So just everybody overall is fighting for jobs, is just getting better. It's not really who's going to be the starter. It's just who can contribute and for the team.
Alrighty, next up, Bill Rabinowitz. Bill.
Hi, Haskell. What do you think is the next step in your development? What do you want to improve on this year? And can you just kind of, again, go through your decision to return?
To me personally, what I need to improve on is my strength of attack. Just kind of enhancing everything. Everybody kind of thinks I had a great season, but with this season, we're gonna have 12 games, a full season. So I just need to be prepared. Conditioning, strength, and all around need to get better.
Thank you.
All right, next up, Tim May from Letterman Row. Tim.
Yeah, thanks, Mike. Hey, Haskell, I was wondering, what is that threshold that you big guys, basically down deep in that trench, have to kind of cross before you feel the confidence, the effectiveness, and what kind of like brings that confidence and effectiveness on?
Just how prepared you are for real. For the most part, it's just from the film room. If you can take what you learn in the film, in the classroom to the field, when you finally get comfortable with the plays and can understand where everybody's at in the field, that confidence, it allows you to play much faster, much stronger. And when you can anticipate things instead of reacting, it makes you even that much better of a football player.
But is it a physical thing too? That you have to feel like you're as physical as the guy you're going against? Because you come from high school, and you may be the biggest guy on the planet. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, it's more of a, if you just trust your tech, it's a trust thing. If you trust your technique and, nothing physical, we have the best strength coach in the nation, Coach Mick. So nothing really physical. It's just really, it's an internal thing. If you know and trust what you're doing and trust what you see with your eyes and what you watch in film, it makes you play even faster.
Thanks, man.
Alrighty, next up, Dan Hope from 11 Warriors.
Hey, Haskell, since you made this decision to come back for an extra year, how much do you feel like you have the opportunity to really be a leader for this defensive line and for the entire team this season?
It's tremendous. I just feel that I have to be on my toes and P's and Q's in terms of, film, getting in the weight room, doing extra stuff so I can lead these guys on the field and lead these guys also off the field. So for the most part, it's just showing that example of what you're supposed to do and how you're supposed to do it, and ultimately what it looks like on the field.
All righty, and we'll go to Joey Kaufman from the Dispatch next. Joey?
Haskell, what are some of the things you're kind of working on this spring that you're able to do? Obviously, you're not able to practice as much with your injury, but what are some of the things you're able to do kind of off the field to stay fresh?
One of the things I'm focusing on is my conditioning for the most part. Last year I came back and only had about 4 days of training and conditioning before our first game. So I realized I got tired mostly towards the end of games, and I want to go till literally from the first snap to the last snap of the game. So pretty much what I'm focusing on is my conditioning this season.
All righty, we will wrap up Haskell with Austin Ward. Austin, go ahead.
I got one, Mike, if somebody else needs to ask one.
All righty, we'll open it up. Anyone else have a follow-up for Haskell?
Did you say?
Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Go ahead,
Did you
Tony.
say Tehran is at nose tackle right now?
Everybody, so everybody, we're making it versatile so everybody can play every position, so that nobody's one-dimensional. Everybody's very versatile. So me, myself, Tehran, Antoine, and Jerron Cage, all the defensive tackles know how to play both positions. So yes, Tehran's getting reps at nose tackle.
All righty, Whitney, go ahead.
Hey Haskell, because of your injury and what you're working through, I bet you're not gonna get to play in the spring game, but how exciting is it for you guys to be able to have fans in there? You had some fans in the later games this season, but actually having just pure Buckeye fans in there. How exciting is that?
Oh, it's really exciting, from family to also friends who everybody's just happy to go into the stadium and be back in the stadium. And we're happy to have Buckeye Nation back in the stadium. It's a little bit different when you have your family. Having your family in the stadium is awesome and within itself, but having the whole nation and Buckeye Nation, having fans back in there so that they can experience what we experience is even more enticing. And we're just happy to have everybody back in. And yeah.
All righty, Dan Hope, go ahead.
Yeah, Tehran, just wanted to ask you, Haskell, I'm sorry, I wanted to ask you, coming back and, given this fifth year, when you think about just everything that you've had to go through in this past year, how much does that, kind of fuel your motivation to really make sure that you finish your career strong this year?
Oh, it just enhances all of my motivation. I just want to leave behind a great room for Coach Jay and have everybody ready for when I leave so that the room is in good hands and I left my mark and left my legacy when I leave.
All righty, folks, we got Tyreek Smith here ready for you. So we'll thank Haskell for your time and we'll talk to you soon. And really appreciate it today. Thank you.
Appreciate it. Oh.
We'll bring in Tyreek Smith. All right, Tyreek, thank you. Thanks for spending a little time with us today. We'll lead it off with Dave Biddle. Dave, go ahead.
Thanks, Mike. Hi, Tyreek. You were really playing well at the end of last season. Speak about that a little bit, the way you played against Northwestern, the Big Ten title game, Clemson in the college football playoff, and then how frustrating it must have been just when it felt like you were peaking to not be able to play against Alabama in the national championship game.
I think last year I just tried, just started just focusing more on just my technique and, just the little things. It was some stuff that, Coach Jay and I was going over, and it was just little stuff that I had to fix, to fix my game, make my game to go to another level. So every week we was playing new teams. I just try to, focus on every week in practice, do the little things good, every week, whether it was my get off, my hands up, violent hands, or setting the edge good. Like I just try to make everything an emphasis and,
put some more time into my technique, and it started showing on the field. So I just, kept going after that.
And then not playing against Alabama, that had to just be.
Yeah. I mean, it was the most unfortunate time to get COVID. As my mom had told me, it was like the whole season I went clear, and then last game of the season. But I got another opportunity to go back and do the same thing with my teammates. So that's why I'm here. Do the whole thing again.
Thank you.
Alrighty, next up, let's go to Bill Rabinowitz. Bill.
Hi, Tyreek. About the Alabama thing. When did you find out that you had tested positive, and how did you kind of deal with that? Was it, just how shocking was that for you?
I actually found out, I think, so we got home. I found out Monday. Yeah, Monday, I found out. And I was like, dang, like at first it was just like unreal because I wasn't even feeling nothing. I was cool.
I actually was in the Woody parking lot. I was parking my car, and then our trainer called me, and I'm like, for real? I'm like, man, nah, you can't be right. And but it was, man. So I just looked at it as, I didn't want to get mad, and just I couldn't do nothing about it. It is what it was. So, I just told my teammates, go out there, play their best for me. They know what to do. So I couldn't, I just gotta hold my head high.
Where'd you watch the game, and how hard was that to watch, knowing you probably could have helped?
I watched it at my house, my apartment.
Alrighty, next up, let's go to Patrick Murphy. Patrick.
Tyreek, you talked about the focus you had last year to improve. What are you doing this spring to enhance that and build upon what you were able to do last year?
I think really I'm just doing the same thing. Coach always says, the little things amount to the big things. So basically, whether it's spring practice, lifting, everything, I just try to look at all the small things, do everything right. I'm just trying to do everything the right way, whether it's eating, whether it's lifting on the field, technique wise. I'm just trying to make sure all my stuff is on point, and then when I'm done with practice, I go into the film, watch it, see what I did wrong, correct myself, and then the next day when we go out to practice, the next time we practice, I'm thinking about those things I did wrong. I'm trying to, fix those things. If it was a short step, I'm trying to make sure every time I get off, it's a long step, I got a good step. So those are just the things I was trying to fix and critique myself on.
All right, let's go next to Tony Gerdeman. Tony.
Tyreek, just wondering what you've seen from Jack Sawyer since he's been here.
Oh no, man, Jack, he's picking up fast, man. I think he's going to be a tremendous player. He came to the right program. Coach Jay, he's going to get guys to where they need to be. But it's like the technique and the flow of the game. He's really picking up on it. He's been doing really good every day. I feel like he gets better, and I feel like his rushes and he's getting stronger as a player and as a person. So I think he's doing really good.
All right, we're just going to do two more for Tyreek because we got three other D linemen here ready for you. So let's go to Joey Kaufman. Joey.
Tyreek, last year you were, I think you led the team in like total pressures on quarterbacks, and you were always really effective at kind of pressuring the quarterback, but you had one sack. And what's kind of the key to maybe converting some of those times where you're pressuring the quarterback into bringing him down? And what's the key there for you?
It's a lot of stuff that goes in. It could have been last second, I didn't burst enough, balance, staying up. It's just a lot of factors that play into it. So me and Coach try to, go to all my rushes, see what I was doing, see why I was missing these. It's little stuff, maybe stuff that y'all don't see, but, I see it when I slow down the film, go frame by frame with Coach Jay. So just like I said earlier, looking at those little things maybe I didn't do, maybe I didn't, reach out for the ball, to get a strip sack or something like that. I'm trying, make sure I stay on myself to, do those things right, do those little things. So in the game, it could amount to a big come up.
All righty, and final question for Tyreek. We'll go to Austin Ward. Austin.
Tyreek, we've had this conversation a number of times. I know it's your favorite, but how are you feeling physically at this point? Do you think you might finally get a chance to go through a whole year without having to deal with some sort of setback?
Yeah, I feel great. I think this is the best I've ever felt fast, physical wise. I feel my strongest. Now, it's just up to me, keep my body right. I'm just trying to get up there and get better every day. Came back one last year, perfect my craft, try to give myself another chance and my team another chance with me. So, I'm not trying to waste my chance. I'm trying to go out there every day. If it's lifting, I'm giving my 110%. If it's practice, I'm locked in. I'm trying to, find my technique and stuff like that. Me, the same thing. I'm locked in. So that's how I'm trying to approach it this year.
Awesome. Thank you very much, Tyreek. Really appreciate your time today.
No problem. Thank you.
And we'll bring in Zach Harrison next. Zach. Yep.
Skip.
All right, Zach, thank you for spending a little time here. Why don't we lead it off with Nathan Barrett from Cleveland.com.
Hey, Zach, I want to actually ask you about the guy who just stood up. Did you notice something different from Tyreek Smith down the stretch last year, and just what are your impressions from him so far this spring?
I mean, Tyreek been balling ever since, this spring started. I saw a difference in him in the winter workouts too. We all got together, we all decided what we had to be, and Tyreek's taking that next step too.
All righty, next up, Dan Hope from 11 Warriors.
Hey, Zach. Jack Sawyer just lost his black stripe. Just wondering what you've seen from him so far in this first spring of practices.
I've been real impressed with Jack. Jack's getting better every day. He's a sponge. He likes to be coached up. He likes to he asks questions, and he's got real God-given ability. He's got a good band explosiveness. So I think Jack's going to be a special player around here.
All right, let's go next to Dave Biddle from 247.
Hi, Zach. The coaches have been very complimentary of you this spring about your mindset and your work ethic. Can you expound on that and kind of take us through maybe what changed with your mindset and just with your work ethic this offseason?
Well, guys, I just made a conscious effort. I had to put everything I got in this program and see where it takes me. Coaches always say, if you give it all, you can get the results you want. I was like, let me just try that. Let me give everything I got and see where the results take me.
Alrighty, next up, Bill Rabinowitz from the Dispatch.
Yeah, Zach, as a unit, what do you think of your guys' potential? What do you think of kind of the mindset that you have? Do you have a different feeling about this unit than you've had in the past?
I'm excited about the unit because most everybody's back. We only lost 2 guys last year, so we all know what it takes now. We all know what we got to be. We all know what areas we have to improve in, and we are taking that personal every day of practice. We're trying to improve on those areas so we all can reach our goals.
Is there a younger guy who's kind of jumped out to you?
Both the young guys, both the freshmen coming in, they both have made a lot of plays. They both have a lot of flashes where you can see like okay, yeah, they belong here. They're going to make it.
Thanks, Zach.
Alrighty, next up, Patrick Murphy from 247.
Zach, I know he's in the middle, but Ryan Day said the other day that Teron Vincent is a guy who's really emerged this spring, maybe the most improved player. As a defensive lineman, what have you seen from him, and how have you seen him kind of become maybe the guy everyone thought he would be when he got here?
I mean, yeah, Teron took last season. He got way stronger, and you can notice it because he's locking dudes out. He's eating double teams, and he's improving on his pass rush every day. So I think Teron's going to be a big factor for us on the inside.
All righty, we'll go next to Tim May from Letterman Row. Tim.
Yeah, Zach, is that kind of the beauty of being at Ohio State, that y'all have 5 stars who are sort of coming on, you know what I mean? Even as other guys leave, et cetera. And I'm just wondering, even on the offensive side, what have you seen from the offensive line that tells you it could be a strength again?
I mean, I go against Thera and Nick every day, and like those are 2 of the best tackles in the country. So it's an iron sharpens iron mentality. I know whenever we line up, sometimes we even say it for the play, like, all right, this money down, me versus you, like we gotta get better. Like, and it's that constant, approach of, like I said, iron sharpens iron. And even after the play, we'll talk about, all right, what'd you see? Like, was my chest open, was my hands down? And I'll tell Thera, like, this, that, and what I saw about his set and how he was setting, how I took advantage of it, same with Nick. So it's the give and take that all of us are trying to reach the same goals, and we know that. So
yeah,
we go hard and we work and get better against each other.
And real quick, have you found yourself helping Jack Sawyer along in that regard too? I mean, everybody makes mistakes as a freshman. I would think the older guys maybe try to help the younger guys, maybe not to make some of those like your dad would,
No, I'm not his dad. No, I'm just his teammate.
Yeah.
Just gonna help him out like the old dudes helped me out. Just gonna pay it forward. Eventually, he's gonna be an old guy. He's gonna be a freshman. He's gonna pass down the knowledge. That's how it is in the D-line room.
Thanks, man.
All right, and we'll wrap it up with Zach here because we got Javante Jean-Baptiste ready to talk to you. We'll go to Austin Ward to wrap this up. Austin.
Zach, during those open practices that we got to see, you were, talking to a lot of those teammates. You just described your conversations with Thera and Nick. You did the mic'd up video. It seems like you're a lot more comfortable with your voice. Is that fair? When did you start maybe tapping into that?
I've always talked a lot. I just talk a lot. That's how I get through practice. So I've always been a talker.
All right, Zach, thank you very much for your time. Really appreciate it today.
Yep, appreciate y'all.
We'll bring in Javante Jean-Baptiste. All right, Javante, thank you very much for spending a little time on this gorgeous Friday. Let's start it out with Spencer Holbrook. Spencer, go ahead.
Javante, where have you taken the biggest step from 4 months ago or 3 months ago when you guys were last on the field to now?
The biggest step I would say is I got much stronger from where I was, and that strength also allowed me to get faster because the more power you can put on the ground, the faster you can go.
All righty, next up, Dave Biddle. Dave, go ahead.
Hi, Javante. What do you really want to show the coaches most this spring and even going into the fall to really play as much as you want to?
I would just say just showing them that I could be a guy and just be a leader and just keep going and try to make everyone around me better.
All righty, next up, Nathan Baird. Nathan, go ahead.
Hey, Javante. Curious just what you saw from Tyreek Smith there down the stretch last season. You know, once you got to the postseason, it seemed like he took things up a notch. Did you notice anything different? And what have you seen from him so far this spring?
Tyreek, I think Tyreek's getting better. He's looking real good. And like in that postseason, as the reps kept coming on for him, he just kept making plays.
All right, we'll go next to Dan Hope. Dan.
Javante, for you guys having, 4 upperclassmen in this defensive end room, how much do you guys talk collectively about just all, taking that next step and really starting to, make a bigger impact up front this year?
We talk a lot about it because we feel we're all coming around at the same time and we all make strides together. And we feel that if we're all at our top game, then other teams gonna have a problem.
All righty, we'll go to Tim May, Letterman Row. Tim.
Javante, do you have the coolest name on the Ohio State football team? And number 2, how much of this year is going to be about maybe leaving your name? You know what I mean? Etching your name into the annals of Ohio State football.
I would say as time comes, and I think I'll be ready for it. Just keep going and playing hard. It will work itself out.
Yeah. What have you noticed that you actually are doing better in the spring than you did even last fall? I mean, because obviously we played a lot, just what has really come on in your game in the last couple of weeks?
I would say my get off and I play the run better.
Thank you, man.
All righty, we'll wrap up Javante with Austin Ward. We got Teron Vincent ready for you. Austin, go ahead.
Javante, when you talk about that strength and speed that you've gained, I mean, physically you look dramatically different than when you arrived. I mean, how much has your body changed over the last couple of years to when you got here, and maybe even just since December or January?
I'd say on my official visit at Ohio State, I was, I think, 195. And then when I got to Ohio State, I was around 210, 215. And then now just being at 253, my body fat is like a 12, 13%. The difference is like drastically. It's like I feel it. And it's just like looking back on where I was is a big difference.
All righty, Javante, thank you very much for your time today. Really appreciate it. We'll welcome in Teron Vincent. All righty, let's start it out with Patrick Murphy. Patrick, go ahead.
Teron, we talked to Ryan on Monday, I think it was, and he brought your name up as arguably one of the most improved guys this offseason. What have you been doing that maybe makes him say that? How have you seen yourself improve?
I've I've been fully healthy this whole off season, and I've just been able to compete with everybody, and then just develop my skill set that I need to take me to the next level.
All righty, next up, Nathan Baird, Cleveland.com.
Hey, Teron, I wanted to ask you about that health thing because obviously 2 years ago, everyone had seen where you were at and knew that you were going to not be able to participate. But last year, how much were you still held back going into the season, and how much did that affect? You were trying to play immediately, but how much did that affect what you were able to do on the field last year?
Well, can you say that question again? Oh, bad.
So I was just asking, going into last season, how much were you held back physically by whatever was wrong, and how did that affect you on the field?
I wasn't really able to get the full amount of treatment that I possibly needed. We were shut down and stuff, so we wasn't in a facility and stuff. So that was just a little struggle with everything. We kind of delayed everything. So when we got back, I was kind of behind a little bit.
All righty, next up, we'll go to Bill Rabinowitz from the Dispatch. Bill.
Hi, Teron. How have you been able to deal with what I would imagine is a high level of frustration because of the injuries? You're a five-star guy. How have you been able to cope with that, and how much does that add to your determination to have a breakthrough year this year?
I mean, injuries is a part of the game. I struggled with it at first, but I talked to my dad. He just tell me, like, man, it's football. Like, injuries come with the sport. This is what you signed up for. So once I kind of had that conversation, really just realizing, like, you just got to get healthy. Once you get healthy, you know what you can do. That's just how that conversation went.
How much does it help to have a father with not just his NFL background, but obviously he's a really sharp guy, very smart guy. I'm actually old enough to remember covering him a little bit in the NFL. To have his guidance and his wisdom, how beneficial has that been for you?
Definitely lets me he just knows what to do to get there. Like he's already somewhere where I want to get to. So he just gives me knowledge of everything I need.
Thank you.
All righty, next up, we'll go to Spencer Holbrook. Spencer.
Ron, when you talk about the difference from last year to now this spring, what have you seen from yourself that makes you think you're ready to take just the biggest leap of your career right now this spring?
I feel it physically. I feel stronger, faster, just more explosive off the ball and stuff like that. I can just feel it. I can feel it as my physical body. And then the game kind of slowing down now. I'm older now. I can see stuff happening before it happens. So, yeah.
We'll do just a couple more for Teron. We'll go to Dan Hope. Go ahead.
Hey, Teron, it sounds like you've been practicing some at nose tackle, playing some both positions. Just how do you feel like you can play at that nose tackle spot? And do you think it's important for you to be able to play there so you and Haskell can be on the field together?
I think all the D tackles can play 3-tech or nose, so we all can interchange whoever it is that can go in. So I think that definitely elevates all our games to be able to play both positions.
Are there any key differences between playing those two spots? But if you're going to play nose, you have to be able to do this, but maybe you don't have to do it 3-tech?
No, I feel like both D tackles just cause havoc. That's our job, just to mess the offense up. Go get the ball.
All righty, we'll wrap Teron up with Whitney Harding. Whitney, go ahead.
Hey, Teron, I asked Haskell this question as well. With the spring game coming up, it's official. You guys are going to have fans. How excited are you guys for that experience? You're already smiling. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I'm really excited to just kind of get back to how things were. I know this pandemic really got people real bummed out about everything. Just it'll be good to see the fans back in the shoe.
Thanks, buddy.
No problem.
All righty, Teron, thank you very much. Really appreciate your time.
No problem.
All righty, we got Teron Cage here to talk to you. Thank you. Thanks, Teron, for spending a little time. We'll start it out with Tim May. Tim, go ahead.
Hey, Jerron, I was just wondering, you guys are working between those and three technique and stuff as Teron and Haskell Garrett were telling us earlier. But do you feel like how much different do you feel now than you did even a year ago from the standpoint of possibly, being able to contribute, et cetera, and physically, how much have you grown in the last couple of years?
I feel like the biggest push was last year of my growth, just getting stronger and everything with Coach KP. Kenny Parker, when he came in here, showed us all types of different ways to get stronger at the little things. So I feel like me, Teron, Antoine, and Haskell, we all just gravitated to him. And I feel like my personal feeling, I feel like I've gotten stronger, faster, and more explosive. So
thanks, man.
All right, we'll go next to Patrick Murphy. Patrick.
As Tim said, we've heard a lot about you guys playing both nose and defensive tackle. If you had to explain the difference between the two positions and what you have to do differently when you're at each one, how would you do that to someone who's never played it?
I feel like the three tech is more of you have to be getting off the ball every play. It's no off plays. You can't. He's the motor of the defense. The three tech's the motor of the defense. The nose guard is the disruptor. He just comes in and wreaks havoc in the middle, allowing our ends in the three tech to make plays for each other. So we play off each other.
Sorry, let's go to Austin McCord. Austin, go ahead.
John, I know it was a process for you to earn your way onto the field, and then you started, getting some snaps and maybe making a couple plays last year. What did it take to get to that point? And how did that little bit of experience last year help you moving into this spring?
I feel like the biggest thing with that was just the brotherhood of the D-line. Just everybody getting so tight, especially during this pandemic. That's the only person we seen. That's the only people we seen. We seen each other. So I feel like the gel we had with Jonathan Cooper and Haskell and Antoine and Teron, Tyreek, all the people, we all just gelled together. I feel like once we all gelled together, I feel like we just played off each other and just the energies of each other just went into each other. So.
All right, we'll do two more questions. We got Antoine Jackson here ready for you. Joey Kaufman, go ahead.
Ron, what do you remember about the national title game and against Alabama and having to come in that game and start and fill Tommy Togiai's spot?
I just remember the excitement of just being able to just show what I got. I feel like just the whole situation was emotional for me. Just going through everything I've been through with my, I had to sacrifice so much during that time frame of this pandemic because my son was just born and I couldn't even see him. So the fact that I just had all my brothers around me and I just did it for them and I did it for my son and they understood that. So I feel like that helped me out tremendously. So.
All righty, and final question for Jerron. We'll go to Dan Hope. Dan, go ahead.
Hey, Jerron, as you mentioned, you kind of, broke through last year and finally started playing. Those first few years where you really weren't playing at all, were you ever frustrated? Did you ever wonder, is this ever going to happen for me? Am I ever going to actually play here?
Yeah, definitely. That's anybody in my situation. You figure you see all these guys leaving and you okay, it's time. And then you just don't see it yet. But, if you just wait, God always got a plan for you. So I just stuck in there and just stay strong. And now I'm reaping the benefits right now. So.
Yeah. Thank you, Jerron, for your time. Really appreciate it.
Appreciate you.
We'll bring in Antoine Jackson here to talk to you. All righty, Antoine, thank you very much for spending a little time with us. Let's start it out. Let's go to Nathan Baird to start out. Nathan, go ahead.
Hey, Antoine, I actually had a question about one of your teammates. We've heard about Ty Hamilton these last couple of years, just a guy who flashes things in practice. What are you seeing from him this spring? And are there things he's doing at this age that are advanced for his position?
First, I want to say good afternoon to everybody. Then second, yeah, Ty Haley doing pretty good as a young buck growing up in this as a Rushman. I seen him just locking out guys on the field, just growing. You know, in the weight room, he's just pushing weight, just like his big brother. You know, that's in the league. So he got my respect right now as a young D tackle right now, and I say he's doing pretty good. You know, just gotta keep working.
All righty, next, let's go to Dave Biddle. Dave, go ahead.
Hi, Antoine. Coming back for a sixth year, not a sixth year at Ohio State, but a sixth year in college overall. Was that a no-brainer for you, or did you have to put some thought into that decision?
Well, of course, I had to put some thought into it after the national championship game, and I mean, I know I could do more and just come back and just keep improving like I am right now, and just come back and just keep improving for myself and be here for my teammates. And of course, win the national championship this time.
Thank you.
All righty, let's go next to Tony Gerdeman from Buckeye Scoop. Tony.
Getting back to Ty Hamilton, you mentioned he looks like his brother in the weight room. How does he look like? How does he compare to Devon on the field?
I mean, of course, he's not 6'4" like Devon, but like I said, like just getting off the ball and just pressing people out on the field. He looked just like him, but of course, he got to do some more growing up a little bit. And I feel like he's growing in the springtime. He's got to put it all together right now, but I say he's growing very big time right now.
Bill Urban, it was Columbus Dispatch. Go ahead.
Antoine, just how grateful are you to have a sixth year?
Oh, I'm very grateful. Everybody don't have a chance like this like in the past year. So just getting an extra year, just to improve, just to be here, and of course to be a Buckeye it's a big honor to have this just to have this chance really.
Thank you.
All righty, next up, Patrick Murphy, 247.
Antoine, we've heard a lot about Teron Vincent this offseason. What have you seen from him playing next to him, playing with him? What has impressed you about him so far this spring?
What has impressed me is just him being here. He didn't play last year, which felt very bad because you know he had that surgery on his shoulder. So I'm just really happy playing with him right now because you know we didn't play with each other last year. And just us two, it'll just wreck the line of scrimmage, and I just like him right now. And I say we just alike. Like we just get off the ball and we just attack. And I just like how he attacked the offensive guards in practice. Like it's ridiculous. So I give him the utmost respect what he be doing in practice.
All right, it looks like we got two more. We'll go to Tim May first. Tim, go ahead.
Yeah, Antoine, is it a sense that you're about to play your best ball? I mean, how would you describe it to people? Because obviously you were a big time recruit, you know, going to Auburn and stepping back from that and then showing up at Ohio State, and everybody thought you would be just this immediate, you know, force, et cetera. But do you just, like you just said a while ago about the 6th year, do you just feel like you're sort of now ready to blossom? How would you describe it to people?
I still say it's a process, like Coach Jay tell us, like in his program, and as a Rushman, it take 2 to 3 years, you know, to get there to reach your potential. So that's why I really trust Coach Jay, and having this extra year just to keep improving is really a big blessing to me. And I have a big off season coming up for myself, and just been writing down things for myself to get done when we have this break after spring ball. So I say it's a big summer for me. Really, it really starts right now in spring ball.
Thanks, man.
All right, and last question for Antoine. We'll go to Dan Hope. Dan.
Hey, Antoine, with Tommy being gone and, you now being one of, the most veteran guys on this entire team, how much do you view this as an opportunity for you to, be a leader both on and off the field at that defensive tackle spot?
I feel like it's really just the same because, we all talk to each other after practice. Just we all leaders, really. We all love each other. So with Tommy being gone, I feel like we still gonna be the same unit, just keep rising. After somebody leaves, the other person steps up. So I feel that's what it all is right there.
All righty, Antoine, really appreciate your time today. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you, everybody.
And we'll bring in Coach Johnson as soon as he's ready. Guys, it's probably going to be somewhere in the area of 15-ish minutes here, just with some other meetings going on. So just an FYI.
Thanks, Mike.
All right, folks, we're going to have Coach Johnson here. He's just sitting down. So if you're eating lunch, put it aside for a minute.
Okay, you are unmuted. Volume so I can hear these guys. Yep.
All righty, Coach Johnson, thank you very much for spending a little bit of time with us.
No
We'll
problem.
start out the questioning with Nathan Baird from Cleveland.com.
Hey, Larry, going into last season, I think people thought that might be the year where Teron Vincent could really break through. But I don't think we at the time knew the extent of his injury situation. So how much was that holding him back at the start of last year? And how much is being healthy contributing to some of the things we're hearing now about maybe him breaking out?
Yeah, that's the difference. He wasn't healthy last year. He couldn't play. And so he played late in the season when he got really healthy, but he didn't play a lot of football last year. And so now he's a healthier player and he's going through spring ball. He's going through a winter workout and he's in a really great position right now. He's what we thought he would be when we brought him and recruited him. And so he's having a great spring right now. He really is because he's healthy. He's playing fast. He's strong at the point of attack. All the things we look for from a 3-tech team.
We'll go next to Stephen Means from Cleveland.com. Stephen.
Hey, Larry, a quick kind of recruiting question. Obviously, you've taken, guys from all over the country, different ratings, 5-star, 4-star, whatever. But it seems to be this trend of, highly rated defensive ends that's kind of in your backyard. Recently with Zach and, Jack, and there are some other guys as well. As a guy who knows the position better than anybody on the Zoom call, as you've kind of watched film and evaluated guys, what have you maybe seen to allow some of these guys to develop to that point to where they are kind of seen as these highly rated players?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think one thing that I have advantage when those guys are home players, like the Jack, the Zach Harrison, Jonathan Cooper, home players, they get to get on campus more, they get to get on the field more and go to camps, spend more time with them. I think that's the key, right, for those guys because they've been here, they've been around me. They actually get the system early. So that's an advantage for the guys that are local because they can move faster. And that's seemed to be the thing with Jack. Jack became every camp. And so he don't have to relearn the technique. He just got to refine his technique. And I think that's the huge advantage. We have guys local. So yeah, if you can find that guy local, you'd love to have him because you can spend more time with him. The guy long distance, those are the ones you're going to have to take time with. So you have to do it through Zoom and trying to get him caught up. But it's nothing like being in person, hands-on to really start the development stage. Thanks for the question. That was a great question.
All right, and we'll go next to Dave Biddle. Dave.
Thanks, Mike. Hi, Larry. Good to see you as always.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm doing well, thank you. It seems like there are the 3 certainties in life are death, taxes, and Larry Johnson having a deep and talented defensive line. Just even after losing Tommy and Coop, how do you feel about this year's group overall? It just seems like all you guys do is reload every year.
I'm really excited about this group. I really am. We lost Tommy, it was a big loss, but we had guys waiting in the wing. And if we got Teron and stuff like that, Jerron Cage is having probably the best spring he's had since he's been here. And I think that makes a difference. Those guys all play a little bit last season. That gives us depth on the inside. And as far as the ends, we got, 4 veteran ends returning, and that makes it really easier to really teach and move forward in that defensive scheme. So it's been so far, it's been really great to watch this guy work.
Thank you.
All righty, next up, Austin Ward from Letterman Row. Austin.
Hey, Larry.
Hey.
We've talked plenty in the past about, getting pressure versus the number of sacks. When you evaluated last year, what did you think about the pass rush over the course of the season? What kind of would you like to see from this group now heading into 2021?
We got a lot of quick throws. We're close in a lot of classes. When you sit down and watch all the pressure from last year, I think we were so close so many times for making a big play, but we didn't get there. So now just going back and studying that a little bit, trying to change our technique, our approach. That's what we're working on right now. And just kind of reading it faster, reading the quick game faster to try to make a difference, bending the edge and, bursting to the finish, all those little things, technique things we can do to make a difference. But I still believe, pressure sometimes is better than the sack because you force the quarterback to throw a erratic throw into an interception. And matching the hands, one of the things that we do really well, and it has Gary, tipping the ball to himself and catching ends on Michigan State. So I think all those little things are part of what we have to do to increase the sack numbers. And plus, we didn't play a lot of football. We didn't play a lot of games either to get those numbers where we want them to be. But I'm not a guy chasing numbers. I'm just chasing production. The fact that we can get it done, whereas quick throws, bat the ball down, change the quarterback, hit the quarterback, all those things factor into, getting sacks.
Thanks, Larry.
Yep.
All righty, next up, Bill Rabinowitz from the Dispatch. Bill.
Hi, Larry. Tyreek Smith is kind of one of those guys who a lot of pressure, only one sack. Was that just a function of, like you said, quarterbacks getting rid of the ball quickly, or does he need to do something to be able to finish the job? And what is that?
A little bit of scheme, getting the ball out fast. We got great pass rushers. They aren't going to hold the ball. And we always get different protection. We get chip, we get slide two, we get double team, we get max protects. So it's more than just watching the pass throw and what are they doing up front to try to slow us down. But certainly, one thing I don't want to do is change what he's doing. He's done a great job rushing the quarterback. We'll continue to do that. And I don't try to panic about it because that could get a kid like, okay, I've got to go make a sack now. And then you have a kid jumping out of lanes or, doing things that we shouldn't do in defensive scheme. So I think we'll see a big change going into the season. Just how it plays out, what we get and how teams are protecting us. That's what we have to study.
Thank you.
All righty, we'll go next to Tony Gerdeman from Buckeye School. Tony.
Larry, when you signed Tyreek, we kind of compared him to Tyquan Lewis. And I'm wondering now in his fourth year, how close is he to being that? Can he be that Big Ten Defensive Lineman of the Year this year, do you think?
You talking Tyreek Smith?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think Tyreek's got a chance to be a really special defensive end. I really do. I think with him and Zach and the backups they had, Javante and Tyler Fright, all those guys can be starters. But Tyreek's got a very great first step. And if he continue to grow and obviously healthy and get through the season, I think we'll see a special guy on the field. I think you'll see a different guy on the field in the sense of how he plays. He's certainly playing well in the spring right now. And I like to see him continue to do that as we go forward.
All righty, next up, Joey Kaufman, Columbus Dispatch.
Larry, when you're replacing Tommy Togiai at that nose spot, what are some of the traits you want to see from guys like Tron and Dron to kind of fill that role at nose?
Really, a guy like, Antoine Jackson and Jerron Cage and hopefully we get a young guy to jump in there also. But really the nose position is a different position. You have to be a powerful guy, very strong, and you have to be quick. And that's why we love BB because he was so quick on the inside. And Tom, in case he was such powerful inside, you hardly could move him. Antoine's a quicker guy inside, so he'll give us more movement on the inside as we go forward. But that's what we're looking for. That guy's got to be a powerful guy. He's got to be smart. He's got to understand protections to know where he can get his two-way go at and just football talk. But that's the kind of guy we're looking for, nose guy. We're like a bigger guy, but I'll take quickness over big to make sure we can get, make a difference in the line of scrimmage. We want to knock the line of scrimmage back. That's what we're asking our nose guard to do, to create a new line of scrimmage and make the ball bounce. I'm really surprised. I'm really happy where we are right now with our guys on the inside and how hard they're working to make a difference. And Antoine is one of those guys who's a fifth-year guy coming back, so he gets it now. He's a much smarter football player, and he just reads and reacts to things really well. That's where Tommy was. Tom is a really smart player.
Already next up, Tim May, Letterman Row. Tim.
Always a pleasure talking to the only undefeated coach in Ohio State football history. Larry, there was an old Baptist.
It's got to be Tim. It's just you have to throw that out there, Tim. Right? It's just
sorry. Well, I think it's great. Yeah, talk about Haskell Garrett making a play, man. Those guys rose to the occasion. But I digress. That old Baptist hymn. I saw the light. Do you see that every year of guys whose eyes just kind of get a little bit brighter in your room, and now physically and confidently and everything else, they're ready to play? And what brings that along, do you think, in your opinion?
That's a great question. It's the process. And that's what you get players to understand. There's a process to get to that third year or get to that fourth year. You got to do all the grinding at the bottom to reach the top. And once you get into that right area, I call it, get into the level that we think that we can move you, maybe a half inch, just another notch up. I mean, that's when you get really excited about coaching guys. And Haskell's kind of done that. You know what I mean? He's been here and now he's moved that stick very high. Now he's in a place where I call it red area. I talked to a lot of guys about that. Now it's time to move forward. No doubt about it. But to me, it's just a process. It won't happen overnight. It really doesn't.
Do you see a lot of guys in that room now who are kind of making that move in their own niche?
Yeah, no doubt about it. And that's the cool thing about what you're watching. You're watching a guy like, take Zach Harrison, for example, how much he's moved to the next level. You guys haven't seen him. I see him every day, and I can see the change in him. But it's the process. Now he's there. He's in that third year. He understands it. He plays absolutely incredible fast. And that's what we want for our guys to get to that third year, to really understand our process and how we play and our technique, our brand, and grab a hold of it and go forward. And that's what's really neat for me watching these guys right now.
Thanks, man.
Yep.
All righty, we'll go next to Whitney Harding. Whitney.
Thanks, Mike. And hi, Larry. Thanks for the time today.
You got it.
Let's go back to Jack. You said like those local guys have a little bit of a leg up because they get to go to camps and things. So what have you seen from him so far this spring? And do you anticipate that he could make an impact this coming year, his first year?
Yeah, still early. I mean, I certainly like where he's at right now. No doubt about that, because he's been here. He understands our system. But he's playing really well. You know, the thing I like about Jack, he's a fierce competitor. He hates to lose. I mean, he wants to win every rep, and I love that about him. But I think he's going to be a special player down the road. We want to wait and see as we get into the fall and go through, go to spring, summer workouts. But I certainly like where he's at right now, his development set, where he's at.
And a totally different topic. You guys are going to be able to have fans in for this spring game. Just how exciting is it for these guys you had a few in those late games, but this is different. So how exciting is that?
They're excited. This is going to be fun for our players to get a chance to be, fans in the stands, and especially the parents. And that's the most important. They get to see them for the first time. And I know the young guys are excited about that. And just to be able to walk into the stands and look around and see people instead of poster, it's going to be pretty cool also.
All righty, we'll go next to Dan Hope from 11 Warriors.
Hey, Larry, to follow up on Jack, when you have four veterans like you do in Zach and Tyreek and Tyler and Javonte at defensive end, what does Jack have to do to convince you that I have to find a role for Jack? I've got to find a way to get him on the field.
One thing we're going to do, and you don't have to convince me, we're going to find a role for him. If he continue to work hard and do the things we're asking him to do, we'll find a place to play him. I've never been afraid to play freshman players. If you got a chance to be in that 5-6 defensive end row, we're going to find a role for you that you can contribute. I think that's important. I think the most important thing is that when a kid feels like he has a role, he'll work hard at it. If I can give him a role early on and say, this is what I want you to do and be the best at it, I think he'll do that. And that's what we're going to have to do, find a role for him as he goes forward. But he's got to earn it. That's the biggest thing. He's got to earn that role. But we'll find a role for him going forward if he turns out what I think he might be down the road.
All righty, we'll go next to Brendan Gulick, BuckeyesNow on SI.
Hi, Larry. Hope you're enjoying spring practice this year. After
Thank you.
Months. Hey, I guess I'm asking a question that's more retrospective. What's the most important lesson that last year or this last 12 months taught you, and how do you think you can apply that moving forward here?
I tell you, man, perseverance. I mean, really, perseverance. And persevering. The thing that comes to mind, persevering family. How you can keep it all together. And I was sharing a story together with my players today, and we all go through something, like you guys, we're all kind of gone through something here, and how you handle that, how you kind of stay forward, continue to press the button to go forward. That's a restart to me. That's the toughest thing we all have to do, because it's a different, it's a different life right now. It's a different world, and we all have to adjust. But trying to keep our players focused and listen to them, that's really the toughest thing, is you got to find time to listen to them, because they got something they got to say. Then it has nothing to do with football. And my share and my testimony, I hope to give them strength that, forget it. Coach Jay struggles too, because you can't do those things. It's the first time that probably in my coaching career, I have guys over my house for Easter dinner. That's not a norm, because you want family around you. We didn't do that this year. And that was tough, because that's what we always do. And it's because of the pandemic. And so it's forced all of us to change, and just be thankful and be blessed that we're in our opportunity we are, and to still have a chance to play football and coach football and go on our normal lives.
All right, let's go next to Spencer Holbrook, Butter Monroe. Spencer.
Larry, you're known as one of the best in-person recruiters in the country, and you haven't been able to do that for about a year now. How has the Zoom year, now that you've had a chance to look back on it, how has that affected your style of recruiting? Has it made you a better recruiter because you had to kind of adapt and learn to do some things that you might not have done in the past?
I think it's forced you to adapt. I think that's a great, way to look at it. It forced you to adapt. You probably have to do more in Zoom than you've done before, and doing videotape, showing exactly what we do, how we run drills, that you were saved for the on-campus visit, or you were saved to go into the house, you take your laptop, pull it out, and then try to wow the kids in the house that this is how we can make you better. Now you have to do it from a distance. Really, I am an on-hand guy. I like to touch and feel. And it's tough not to be able to do that with players. You really have that great connection that you need to have personally. So it's been tough, but we adapted. And we've definitely adapted and moved forward in it. And we're having some great conversation with a lot of young players. And so I kind of like that also.
All righty, we got two more. We'll do the first one to Patrick Murphy. Patrick, go ahead.
Hey, Larry. Going back to Teron, he was talking to us about when he was dealing with injuries, talking to his dad, who told him this is part of the game and you have to get healthy and show what you can do. How did you see him deal with that process as someone who was around him every day and coping with, I know where I am talent wise, but I just can't get out there and doing it?
Yeah, I think I know Toronto. It wasn't easy for him because he wanted to be a part of it. I think the biggest battle he had, he kept telling his dad, I'm letting the team down, I'm letting Coach Johnson down. And I think that says a lot about who he is. His dad's a great guy, so he understands the game. But I just tell you what he did. He went to work. He didn't sit around and pout about it. He went to work at it and rehabs. I think that's why he's at the position he's right now, that he worked hard in rehab to get back on the field. And that really accelerated when we start practice here. So I'm really happy where he's at right now. And he's deserved a break, and he's got a great break. And we're looking for really great things for him this fall.
All righty, and final question today for Coach Johnson to Tim Hall from 97.1.
Hey, thanks, Larry. I was just wondering, with the NFL draft coming up here in a couple weeks, you just had the pro day. You look at a guy like Coop. What are you most proud of? Somebody like that.
I mean, his work ethic is off the charts. I mean, you're a guy that come to work every day. From the day he showed up in the building, and he has not stopped working. And he deserved a chance. And I think he got a chance to play in the NFL. There's no doubt about it. Locker room guy, great leadership guy. He's a guy can play 10 or 15 years because he's going to do it the right way. He's a lot like Sam Hubbard in the sense of how you go to work every day. And I see Coop in the same position here. And I'm really thrilled and happy for him and can't wait to see where he ends up playing. So, yeah, thanks for asking that question.
Yeah. Do you talk to a lot of these guys, like even in the past, like in these 2 weeks going up to the draft, any nerves or anything? Do they text you or talk to you a lot going into it?
Yeah, we talked. There's guys coming back next week. Actually get some workout in. So we'll get a chance to spend some time together. We talked before they went to their pro day just to make sure they're all locked in, ready to go. Always check it up on them, make sure they're working, opposed to hanging out. And those guys have been working really hard. So I'm looking forward to see what happens in the draft.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Coach Johnson. Really appreciate your time today.
All right. Thank you. Thanks, guys.
All right. Thanks, Larry.
Thanks, Larry.
Good.
All right, folks. Thank you very much for being on today. Sorry for the wait there, but we are all good. And we'll talk to you again on Monday. And have any other announcements we need to make? Good. All right. All right, folks. We'll see you. Talk to you soon.
Mike, are we still,
Thanks,